Welcome to LindaLiu IP course. My name is Walker. I'm a partner and chemistry patent attorney at LindaLiu. My today's topic is about supplementary experimental data, which is quite a hot topic in recent years in China. It has attracted much attention from our clients around the world. In the meantime, new trends on this topic have been reflected by newly published regulations of CNIPA. And specifically, the newly revised Chinese Patent Examination Guidelines, which was effected on the 15th January 2021, stipulates that as far as pharmaceutical applications are concerned, if patent applicants submit supplementary experimental data after the filing date to satisfy requirements of sufficient disclosure of description or inventive step of invention, examiners should examine this data. Moreover, the Chinese version of Chinese Patent Examination Guidelines has also given some concrete examples to elaborate which kind of supplementary experimental data can be approved by examiners. To sum up, Chinese examiners should examine supplementary experimental data during prosecution. This means patent applicants have greater opportunities to secure their patent rights than before. It's really fantastic news for us. Many of our clients are very curious about which kind of supplementary experimental data examiners can accept in practice. From our experience, it is quite possible that examiner approves many forms of supplementary experimental data during the prosecution. Taking inventive step as an example to demonstrate our patent application has outstanding technical effects over prior art, such as D1, we can repeat the whole process of the example of D1 and measure some parameters of D1 by using the measuring method of our patent application. As a result, we can obtain supplementary experimental data of D1. As another example, we can also repeat the example of our patent application using the measuring method of D1 to measure the parameters of our patent application. Undoubtedly, we can obtain supplementary experimental data of our patent application. And then we can decide which one is better based on a comparison between the technical effects of our patent application and those of D1, which both can be reflected by above supplementary experimental data in a bid to prove that our patent application has an inventive step. In the meantime, the above forms of supplementary experimental data have been widely approved by examiners. Approval is also possible for other forms of supplementary experimental data. Our clients also wonder if supplementary experimental data are only applicable to pharmaceutical patent applications. The answer is definitely negative. From our experience, examiners are all more likely to examine all kinds of supplementary experimental data regardless of the technical field. However, it is still necessary to advise that patent applicants should file original experimental data as much as possible. Depending on the thoughts of individuals, examiners are also likely not to accept supplementary experimental data because they may think it is difficult to find any basis for this data from the original patent application. After all, original experimental data is a kind of first-hand fact and the most convincing, whereas supplementary experimental data plays an auxiliary role of demonstrating the patentability of patent application. CNIPA always holds it unreasonable that patent applicant overcomes all kinds of intrinsic defects in a patent application just by supplementary experimental data. In this regard, a good strategy is designing enough experimental data in the original patent application to demonstrate how prominent effects the patent application has already had. If the examiner doubts the patentability of the patent application during prosecution, we can try to provide some supplementary experimental data in order to convince the examiner we are right. In summary, we can make full use of supplementary experimental data. However, we should also recognize that supplementary experimental data may not be decisive in some circumstances. Okay, thank you for listening today. Feel free to contact me if you have any questions. As a leading patent law firm in China, we are always glad to help. See you next time.